Hi friends, Savannah here. I'm here because I want to talk to you about how I would teach a lesson on writing letters. I will first start by apologizing for the way I look. I know that I am a hot mess, but I am a mama who worked all day and had to wait for her baby to go to bed to do this. So also, none of you are following me for fashion advice, so ignore this. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to simply put you guys in the thick of things. I'm going to pretend like we've already learned some letters, and I'm just going to show you what I would do in a lesson. So we have already learned as a class the letters T, B, F, and C. So I'm going to take you through each of those steps that I showed you on my Instagram post yesterday so you can see what they look like. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to review the letters that we've already learned. So I have these cards. They have the uppercase and the lowercase letter, and they have a keyword picture. I really encourage you to find keyword pictures to help your students anchor the sounds in their brains. It really does help them to remember those sounds. These are from Wilson's Foundations. You could simply go on Teachers Pay Teachers and Google alphabet cards. I've done that before because I needed more and I didn't have the money to buy extra cards. So the Wilson ones are fantastic, but they're definitely not your only option. I will say though that I think whatever keywords you use, it would be fantastic if you could have consistency in a school. The more we can have consistency in language, the better it's going to be for our children, for them to be able to remember things from year to year. So if your kindergarten teachers and your first grade teachers are all using the same keyword pictures, I think that would be ideal. So friends, let's go ahead and get started. And what we do is we say the letter name, the keyword picture, and the sound. So we'll do this together. F, fun, f. Friends, what did your mouth do when you made that f sound? You're right, your lip went underneath your teeth and you had to push that air out. F. Good job. B, bat, b. Try really hard to make sure they don't say buh. And make it silly. Call them out on it, but make it silly. T, top, t. C, cat, k. And as you learn more letters, your deck will grow. But for right now, that's all we have. So that's all we're going to do. The next step in this lesson is going to be reviewing writing. So just like in a typical Art and Gillingham lesson where you review reading and you review writing, we're doing the same thing. We're just doing it on the letter level instead of on the word level. So once again, my district uses Foundations and I really love it. One of the things that I love is I love that the way they name their lines. So no matter how you're teaching letters to your children, I want you to find something that has the lines labeled. So in Foundations, you have a sky line, a plain line, a grass line, and a worm line. You do not have to use those. I've seen a hat line, a belt line, a shoe line. Whatever it is, once again, the more consistency we can have in language, the better it's going to be. But I really encourage you to name your lines because it's going to make it a lot easier to explain to your children how to form the letters. Okay, so let's see, friends. We have learned some letters and now we are going to practice writing them. And you can do this two ways. You can either do it where you say, just give them the letter and you have them write it, or you say the sound and they have to write it. So for today, I'll take it easy on you guys. All right, friends, I want you to write the letter B for me. And as you're writing, I want you to be talking. I want you to say the name, the keyword picture, and the sound. And all of them would have their boards and they would say, I don't even know what I said, B, let's do B. And they would say B, bat, B. And this is where you correct them. Correct them if they're making this letter wrong. We have got to stop letting kids improperly form letters in the beginning because it's sticking in their brain. And then we have kids in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade who are making Herculean efforts to make a letter. So the more we can correct it from the get-go, the better off we're gonna be. All right, I'll get off that high horse now. All right, friends, let's go ahead and write the letter T. Don't forget to say the sound. Go. And we would say T, top, t. All right, friends, next up, let's write the letter C. And then sometimes I might just remind them, C, we start on the plain line, we fly backwards, we go to the grass line. And then the last one that we've already done is the letter F. Write the letter F. We start a little bit below the sky line, we make a hook, and we cross at the plain line. And when we learn and when we have more letters in our arsenal, I just have them practice maybe 5 of them. So here is how I teach a new letter. I always start with my card. And I know some of you are wondering the sequence that I use. I do use foundations. There is not a single there's not a single correct sequence. There are letters that make sense to teach together, and I will post about that tomorrow, okay? So we just taught the letter C last time. So today, friends, we are going to learn about the letter A, and you'll see I have an uppercase letter A and a lowercase letter A. But today, we're gonna focus on how we make that lowercase letter. So its name is A. The keyword picture that's gonna help us remember the sound is apple, and the sound it makes is ah. All right, friends, watch me as I do that again. A, apple, ah. And then I would have them pull out their mirrors. We would do it together. Friends, let's look at what our mouth does when we make the ah sound. And you can talk about how your mouth is open, the air is flowing. And this is the time when I would actually talk to them about the difference between a consonant and a vowel. So a consonant is a letter where the sound is somehow stopped, like you're putting your lips to stop the sound, the airflow. You're stopping the airflow in some way. But a vowel, you have that continuous airflow. And I talk to them about the difference in what our mouths do when we're making it. The more concrete we can make these things, the better it's gonna stick in their head. And you'll also notice that my cards are two different colors. We call these salmon and white cards. This is a traditional Orton Gillingham thing where the white cards are consonants and the salmon cards are going to be your vowels. I would suggest doing that, but once again, you don't have to have these. There's tons of stuff out there. You could just you could just have white paper and salmon colored paper and print them. I've done that myself. All right, friends, so let's go ahead and talk about how we make that letter A. This is where you are going to be very explicit about how it is made. The letter A is a plain line letter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start on the plain line and I'm gonna fly backwards. I'm gonna fly backwards and then I'm gonna fly down to the grass line, but come back up to the plain line and give a tail. Watch me as I do this again. We're gonna fly backwards, land on the grass line, close it up, and right back down, friends. So this is me doing it while they watch it. I will do this a few times. We are gonna follow what I do, we do, you do, gradual release of responsibility model. So I just did it. All right, guys, now I want you to do it with me. And you can do this on dry erase board, you can do it on paper. This is the point where you can do it in the air, you can do it in shaving cream. There's so many different ways that you can practice writing it. I will say the bigger, the easier. So if you have students who are struggling to write it small, you'll notice this has two different sides. I always start bigger because bigger is easier and then you can make it smaller. All right, friends, let's do it together, okay? Remember, we're gonna say it as we're doing it. We're gonna say A, apple, ah. A, apple, ah. A, apple, ah. We do it together. Then I have them do it on their own. And just for fun, I also have them close their eyes and see if they've got that muscle memory for it. So the next thing that we do after that, after we have taught it to them, then we review all of the different sounds that we've already done. So I have these small salmon and white cards now, and all they would do is either say the name or the sound. So I would hold it up, and this time we're gonna say the sounds. B, t, a, and your deck is growing. And you'll notice we've taken away the picture support. So they just have to rely on the sound symbol knowledge that they know. So when you are teaching letters, remember, you review the letters that you've taught. You by reading them, then you review by writing them. Then you introduce a new letter using a card with the keyword picture, introduce the name, the keyword, and the sound. Practice that new letter. Use a gradual release of responsibility model where you show it, y'all do it together, and they eventually do it on their own. And then finally, I want you to practice using just the sound cards. So there are some things that are going to make this easier for you. I would say a couple of things that are probably going to be non-negotiable for this is paper that is labeled with the lines. I don't care how they're labeled, just something to help you explain to your children how to write it. I also think that you need cards cards that have keyword images on it, and I also think you need a deck of flashcards that do not have any images. This is by no means something that you have to have, but I do have some alphabet interactive notebooks in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. I'm really excited about them because I've had a phonics notebook for the older kids, and so I was finally able to make one for the younger kids, and it fits into a nice little composition book or a folder, however you want, and it's really cool. So if you're interested, you don't have to. It's in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. So tomorrow I'm going to have a blog post out that's talking about the keys to kindergarten success, and then I am going to be posting a sequence for letters. So I hope that this was helpful. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.